Hey, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're talking all about the Saucony Endorphin Edge, which is Saucony's brand new trail running shoe for the summer. It's got a lot of really cool technologies in it, and in this review, we're going to go through all of those, and I'll also let you in on some things that you need to be really careful of if you are thinking about picking up this shoe. And just to let you know up front, this is a shoe that was provided to me free for review, so I didn't pay for it, but all these opinions are my own. So with that disclosure out of the way, let's talk about some stats of the Saucony Endorphin Edge. First up, the stack height. According to Saucony's website, there is 35 millimeter stack in the heel and 29 in the forefoot, giving you a drop of 6 millimeters, which is pretty nice for picking up the pace and feeling like you're really getting a little bit out of the shoe. It doesn't feel really flat-footed. You feel like you're able to move forward pretty easily in this shoe. And the weight of this shoe is really impressive. In size 9, it came in at 255 grams according to Saucony's website, but in my size 11.5, it was 10.28 ounces or 291.5 grams. And when I stack this up in my spreadsheet, according to all the trail shoes that I've tested over the last couple years, the only shoes that are a little bit lighter is the Tecton X, about a quarter of an ounce lighter. And then we also have the Torrent 2 and the Zenol, all three of those from Hoka. Interestingly enough, but the Saucony Endorphin Edge is one of those that this packs in a ton of new technology, a lot of stack height, and it's really, really light as well. So I've had this shoe a couple weeks. I've been able to go out on 5 runs. I've got about 35 miles in it. I was able to test this shoe in plenty of different conditions, ranging from really technical, steep stuff all the way to pavement or packed gravel, really buffed out trails as well. And this performs very differently in all those different conditions. So let's talk about fit. I got my normal size 11.5 in this shoe, and the fit of the shoe is one thing that I wasn't super happy about. From the heel and the midfoot is okay, but the forefoot, there's just a lot of extra room up here. It's a really tall shoe as well. So what I had to do pretty much was crank the laces down almost as tight as they would go to get a secure fit out there on the trails. And then even then, I still felt like my foot was moving around quite a bit in there. As you can see here, I've got this like almost as tight as it would go on most of my runs, and it was just still too much room. The other thing that I want to point out with the fit that I didn't like was these kind of like extra straps that are in here that are meant to help you secure the midfoot, and a lot of times I do like these straps. For me personally on the Endorphin Edge, it missed the mark and it actually produced some pain because the strap on the outside of my right foot, interestingly only on the right foot, it was going right across the end of my metatarsal out here, and so if I tried to tighten this down a lot, it actually caused quite a bit of pain because it was right at the end of the metatarsal. My left foot, it was there, but it was just a little bit in a slightly different place, and so I didn't have that pain. I had to really tighten down the forefoot, and then when it got up here to the midfoot, I had to leave this pretty loose up here. Otherwise, it just hurt a lot. Other than that, I would just say that this shoe is definitely for someone that likes a lot of room up top in your forefoot. Outer material is an engineered mesh, and so it's not really stretchy, but it is just loose. And so that's one of the things that I'll talk about later in this video, where I also had problems with stability in this shoe. The heel cup is really flexible. I mean, as you can see, like I'm just flattening down the entire shoe. There's just this little small piece of plastic right here that's holding up the heel counter. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot of structure to the upper of this shoe. It's really meant to be lightweight. Now let's talk about the ride. And this is where the Saucony Endorphin Edge really shines in certain conditions and really comes up really short in other conditions. In the midsole, we have Saucony's Power Run PB foam, which is extremely light, very cushioned, feels great on long distances. Got a lot of stack height here, so you have a lot of cushion in this shoe. It also features a Carbitex AFX carbon plate. Unlike most carbon fiber plates, it's really, really flexible when you are kind of putting energy into it. And then when you're releasing energy, it snaps back. And that's one of the really strong points about this shoe, is that it really doesn't feel like it has a carbon fiber plate in it. Especially what this really helps in is when you're going uphill, you're going to be able to really flex the shoe and not feel like there's some extra maybe pull on the heel or anything like that. And then it will snap back much quicker than just something that doesn't have a plate in there. It starts in the middle of the heel and then it goes through the forefoot and it splits right in the forefoot so that you kind of have two sides to it, which is what we're kind of seeing that to be a little bit more common with trail shoes nowadays, so that you can get some flex side to side. Where that's really nice is that if you're running through rocks and roots and you step on a root like on the outside, the energy is not going to shoot through to the other side of the foot and really mess up your gait. It's going to be able to flex side to side like that. And my experience with this midsole, the ride of this shoe, the Power Run PB foam with the Carbitex AFX plate, I'm a little bit undecided on it, because I think where this midsole and performance really shines is on maybe dirt roads, really hard packed gravel surfaces. If you have a lot of road intermingled in between your trails, this is really going to be an amazing shoe. In fact, running out on roads feels incredible in this shoe. It actually does have a lot of cushion. It's got a lot of responsiveness. It's very flexible. So you really feel really free in this shoe. The place where all of this performance starts to fall apart is when you get on anything technical. And we're talking even like Midwest technical, where it's just rocks and roots and maybe 100-foot descents and 100-foot climbs. Like we're not even talking like Beast Coast stuff out here. I really was not confident in this shoe because it is so flexible. I mean, if you look to this side to side, like it's almost like there's no carbon fiber plate in here. So it's a very flexible shoe. The upper, I mean, your shoe just kind of like swims around up in there. Anything technical, you got to be really careful. And for that reason, you kind of lose a lot of the advantages of the Power Run and the Carbitex AFX plate, because that's meant for running fast. It's meant for giving you energy return when you're putting a lot of energy into it. Well, when you have to slow down because you're worried about rolling your ankles, you really don't get all that benefit. So in my opinion, if you're running maybe an ultra that has a lot of gravel roads, a lot of maybe smooth trails, if you're running a lot of downhills that are really safe, like really buffed out, this is probably going to be amazing for that. But if you're running anything technical like this, it becomes more of a burden because you have to think about a lot more things when you're in this shoe. That's not something that you want going through your head during 100 milers. So. All right, moving on to performance. We've already talked a little bit about that, but let's talk more specifically about the outsole. The PowerTrack rubber outsole is really nice on dry trails. It's very, very soft rubber, and so you kind of feel that when it's interacting with anything that's like packed down or crushed gravel, stuff like that. As you can see, I didn't get into any super muddy conditions, but I was on some wet rock during one of my runs, and I had to definitely take my time through there. This rubber outsole just didn't do as well when it got wet. So dry, buffed out trails, that's where this really shines. All right, let's talk about the appeal of the Saucony Endorphin Edge. I really like this pink. When I opened the box, I was kind of taken back. I'll be honest with you. I was like, whoa, I have never worn a shoe like that. I've never seen a shoe like that. When I put it on and I started running, it felt really cool. And I got a lot of looks out there on the trail. So pretty much everybody I passed was just like staring at my shoes. It's definitely a shoe that's going to grab people's attention. It's definitely a fun feeling shoe when you're out there on the trails. I really like this gold and purple when mixed with the pink. There's also an elastic strap right here so that you can tuck your laces into. It's got a place in the front to attach your gaiter, and you can use this pull tab as well if your gaiter has an attachment back there. Saucony's really thought of a lot of things with this shoe. And to kind of wrap this up, I would say that in the right conditions, this shoe is going to be amazing. The Power Run midsole, the Carbitex AFX carbon fiber plate, the really flexible, breathable, hot weather friendly upper. But in the wrong conditions, when you start to get into anything technical, when it starts getting wet and sloppy out there, man, I would just really, really say that just be careful. Because the shoe probably isn't going to be right in those situations. With all that said, what do you think about Saucony's new trail running shoe, the Endorphin Edge? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've tried this shoe, definitely sound off down there and give me your opinions. Also, if you have any questions about this shoe, definitely leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer as many as I can. If you're interested in this shoe, check the link out below and head over to Running Warehouse. Shop for all your running needs there. They do throw a little bit of spare change my way anytime you shop through those links. So thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you again soon. Bye.